right. We want, to do right. We want to have right resources in our communities. We want to give back. We want to reach back and do better. So we open up these organizations, but we have the passion and the zeal, but not the knowledge. So I love to go in and help this person learn how to set up their organization and understand that, yes, it is a nonprofit, it is a community organization, but it is first off a business. And this
Mm-hmm.
business needs structure.
Yes.
Business needs to learn how to have risk management plans. This business needs to know how they're going to grow their team in that nonprofit world and how to build effective teams and how to
Mm-hmm.
collaborate within the nonprofit and how to collaborate with other organizations within that community. Just have written processes. So leading people more so to me is going in, sitting in with the head of the organization or the supervisors in place in the organization and helping them build out a plan, a written plan for success, and also
Mm-hmm.
evaluating them where they are just to see what they are deficient in and where they can grow in. So it's this scope of interview, it's this scope of evaluation of your current processes, and then writing our way and doing the work. So we have the written plan and we have the action, and we're doing the work to grow these organizations because we have real people that want to do good. They just was never taught the business sector of that world.
Right.
So that's
Right.
the leading people aspect that I so love. I love taking executive
I
people,
can tell.
directors, and helping them grow. And I tell you, a lot of it is so needed, especially in Black and Brown communities where you have Black and Brown for-profit and nonprofit leaders.
Mm-hmm.
It's just missing this aspect of leadership. They don't know how to coach their people. They don't know how to discipline people. They don't know how to deal with conflict. They think conflict is bad,
Mm.
all bad, when it's not all bad. They need to learn these processes so that we can have stronger businesses that fail less.
Right, right. Bars. I'm gonna say bars. Bars, nuggets to all of that. And I don't think it's just in the Black and Brown communities. I think it's
Yeah, this.
everywhere. It's like all over the place. There are just those I think that thrive in the structure, and I could tell you and I are just alike because I love everything you're saying. Welcome to the Analytical Rewired, the best place to discuss various obstacles, limitations, challenges, behaviors, and how to overcome them in business. We deep dive into the complexities of people, processes, data, and technology, PPDT, adopting our focus to be either technical or creative expressions, and how to balance the two. The Analytical Rewired is brought to you by the MJW Group, a performance improvement and leadership development boutique management consulting firm that helps companies save time and money leveraging operational excellence. Our mission is to enable your organization to be more successful by refining overarching strategies into detailed plans to be implemented, generate creative and technical solutions for your operational challenges, augment and supplement your existing teams, and help you create processes that allow you to be more efficient with the resources you have. You can learn more about the MJW Group on our website at themjwgrp.com. Welcome to the Analytical Rewired. I am your host, Jennifer White, CEO of the MJW Group, and I have a special guest with me today, Shekita Jackson. How are you?
I am well, Jennifer.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Shekita is joining us from Virginia Beach, and we are excited to have her on the podcast. She's been in touch with a few team members of ours, and
Yeah.
out here in the networking spaces. And she came highly recommended to be on the podcast. So here at the Analytical Rewired, we talk about limitations, behaviors, obstacles, and how people navigate through those complexities, utilizing their left brain and their right brain. So I'm interested to see how Shekita navigates, utilizing creativity, right, as well as technical acumen in her everyday business. So, Shekita, why don't you start out with telling us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do?
Okay, I appreciate it. So I am again based out of Virginia and I am a executive leadership coach. I do a couple of different things under my umbrella of life. I would say I am a mom of four daughters and I am still a student myself. I'm always forever learning. I'm in my doctoral degree program studying business strategic leadership. So I love, love, love all things leadership and helping
Cool.
people learn how to lead people and their organization. So I do that. I also do everything business consulting wise from startup to expansion and scaling and so forth. And I lead a local nonprofit here called Care for Me Youth Initiatives. And Care for Me provides a lot of learning initiatives. We do reading, writing, math enrichment in children 6 to 17. And also we do parenting education classes, financial management classes, self-development and career development programs. We hold a local diaper bank here. We give away free diapers and period products and hygiene kits and everything else we can get in. So I lead that organization here. And I'm a partner in a couple different nonprofit organizations here as well. So everything I pretty much do under my umbrellas of responsibilities is what I'll call them, is in reference to leading people, teaching young parents, teenage moms, teenage dads, how to lead a family and how to lead themselves out of poverty into a progressive, more comfortable lifestyle, and how to teach children when they have certain avenues where they need to be enriched in. So, and how to allow business owners to lead in their business, right? I do a lot of community work, teaching people how to lead community organizations here in the nonprofit space. So everything is pretty much leading that I pretty much focus on in my life here in Virginia.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a whole
Yeah, I was
mouthful.
trying to get it out.
How do you balance everything, Shekita? I mean,
Ooh,
that leading people, because I lead an organization. We're a small
yes,
team, but still that it is a lot. It humbles you tremendously. And there is
forcefully.
always yes, there is always something to learn. So I'm wondering, how do you balance all of this? People are pulling you in multiple directions all the time.
I can say I'm a nurse by trade. So before I got into all these other responsibilities, I was working hands on in healthcare. And what that taught me was that every day I had to go to work, I had to expect the unexpected. And I had to be able to navigate in a world that could be critical in one moment and calm in the next, or a world that changed by the second. People
Right.
health statuses and their emergencies would just change by the second. So had to always be in that space of being able to figure out what to do when there's a crisis, right? Or when something goes wrong or someone's not present. But the word balance to me is such a hard word. And I reference that because of my position of being a mom and an entrepreneur and being in a career and trying to figure out balance. We can spend our whole lifetime trying to figure it out, right? So, and it allows us sometimes to be critical about what we're doing. Like if our to-do list is 35 long when we open our eyes in the morning and we only got 20 of those things accomplished, we're critical because we left all 15. We didn't get all of that to-do
Right.
list accomplished in that day, and we feel defeated sometimes. So I had to learn how to dismiss trying to say I have to balance everything, because I learned that something is going to get more of my time and something's going to get less of my time. I just have to strategically figure out what is going to be more, what's going to get more, and what's going to get less. So in my mindset, I just try to make sure that I say, well, you know what, today I'm going to do best I can. I'm
Right.
going to do the best I can. And I'm going to set up, I'm a firm believer of documentation and
Oh, yes.
strategy and
Yes.
program guides and making sure your team understand, making sure they are empowered to do things without you. I'm a firm believer of setting up processes so that
Oh,
I can do the best
yeah.
I can, right? I can't do the best I can if I don't have certain processes in place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stretched too thin. So I wake up every day and I say, you know, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to implement procedures and I'm going to follow them. And whoever's working with me are going to follow them. And all of us together, we're going to do the best we can. And I'm a believer of collaborative leading and being
Mm.
a collaborative team and understanding that it takes more than one person to do a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things. So,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
have to rely on one another and build one another up. So that's me. I try to stay away from the word balance because I never could figure it out.
Now that you say this, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's
I
like you
never
can
could figure
do,
it out. Like, how do you do
yeah.
that? How do you work and have four? I have four girls, so in my instance, four women that are emotional. How do you work and deal with that and have a personal life and enjoy this abundant life and do
Mm-hmm.
all of those things and lead a team of people and try to grow a team of people? How something is always a give and take. So I never figured
Right.
out the balance part. But
Right.
I just say things have to be set up so that you can be the best version of yourself. You can do the best you can, and you have to want to do the best you can
Right.
every day
Right.
because
Yeah.
you're not going to feel like doing the best you can. So you have to want to do it, and regardless of how you feel, and you just got to keep going. And then you have to motivate yourself, and you got to motivate other people. But it's just I do the best I can.
Right.
That's
Right.
a
And I
long
always,
answer to
you
your
know,
question.
yeah, hearing you say that, it's like you can do anything, but you can't do everything, right? So I do agree, like
Yes.
that. I'm not going to use that B word anymore. Not that B word, but this B word, I'm not going to use anymore. So yeah, I do agree
Have
with
you
that.
figured it
And
out, Jennifer? Have
huh?
you figured it out? Have you
Oh
figured out
no,
this balance thing?
mm-mm.
No, I
No,
haven't. I
no, ma'am.
haven't. I haven't.
No.
If it is something to be figured out, I'm far from it. So I have not figured it out, but I do accomplish a lot in my day.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yes, because of the processes, the structure, and that's using our left
Discipline.
brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's utilizing that because we need that in our world. If
Mm-hmm.
everyone just was loosey goosey and doing whatever they wanted to do, can you imagine like living in a world? So that's
Yes.
why we need both. And I will say that's how I've learned. Well, I'm going to use the word now. I think that's how the universe balances itself, right? It
Uh-huh.
is a yin and a yang. It is a
Yes.
push and a pull. It is the
Mhm.
creativity, the technicalities of life, the structure. So I do agree on that part. It is hard as humans for us to achieve ultimate
Mhm.
balance because I think if we ultimately achieve that balance one day, we won't be like you won't be seeing me here in this avatar. I'm somewhere else. Like
Right,
I'm not
right,
here.
right. You're
So
balanced on the beach.
correct, correct. So definitely agree on that. So you spoke about leading people.
Mhm.
And I know sometimes leadership now it is so broad
Very.
nowadays. I think there's so many schools and curriculums and
Mhm.
topics and categories under leadership now, but you specifically talked about leading people. So, what is it about leading people that you enjoy the most?
I enjoy results. I'll say that because now I work with a lot of I work with for-profit and nonprofit leaders. And when you look at the nonprofit space, we have so many wonderful grassroots nonprofits that are locally in the communities. They're doing the work. They may have been pouring finances from their own pocket or gathering people in the neighborhood to pull their resources together, and they're doing great work.
Mhm.
But leading, in the aspect of leading the organization, when I say leading it, setting the organization up foundational wise, that they will be able to be on the receiving end of bigger funding, so that it
Right.
will have to be less out of their pocket, that they will no longer receive small grants, that they will get bigger grants, making sure they have SOPs and processes in place, making sure they learn how to manage human capital, right? Manage
Mhm.
their system of volunteers, not just how you people innately want to do good, so they want to volunteer, but how do
Mhm.
you manage those people? How do you
Right.
develop them and even make them feel like they're capable to do more than what they're actually doing? How do you reward the volunteers? How do you show them that you care and help them be effective in your organization, and just set your organization up for growth, so we won't have so many small organizations, and they're the ones out here and in the communities on weekends doing work, having programs and events, but they don't
Mhm.
have a structure in leading the people. The directors of these organizations need help in leadership capacities. They need to learn
Mhm.
strategies to grow their organization, because most nonprofit leaders, we open them up on zeal, right? We start these because we have a passion to make a
Yeah.
wrong right. We want, to do right. We want to have right resources in our communities. We want to give back. We want to reach back and do better. So we open up these organizations, but we have the passion and the zeal, but not the knowledge. So I love to go in and help this person learn how to set up their organization and understand that, yes, it is a nonprofit, it is a community organization, but it is first off a business, and this
Mhm.
business needs structure.
Yes.
Business needs to learn how to have risk management plans. This business needs to know how they're going to grow their team in that nonprofit world, and how to build effective teams, and how to
Mhm.
collaborate within the nonprofit, and how to collaborate with other organizations within that community. Just have written processes. So leading people, more so to me, is going in, sitting in with the head of the organization or the supervisors in place in the organization, and helping them build out a plan, a written plan for success, and also
Mhm.
evaluating them where they are, just to see what they are deficient in and where they can grow in. So it's this scope of interview, it's this scope of evaluation of your current processes, and then writing our way and doing the work. So we have the written plan and we have the action, and we're doing the work to grow these organizations, because we have real people that want to do good. They just was never taught the business sector of that world.
Right.
So that's
Right.
the leading people aspect that I so love. I love taking executive
I
people,
can tell.
directors, and helping them grow. And I tell you, a lot of it is so needed, especially in Black and Brown communities, where you have Black and Brown for-profit and nonprofit leaders.
Mhm.
It's just missing this aspect of leadership. They don't know how to coach their people. They don't know how to discipline people. They don't know how to deal with conflict. They think conflict is bad,
Mm.
all bad, when it's not all bad. They need to learn these processes so that we can have stronger businesses that fail less.
Right, right. Bars. I'm gonna say bars. Bars, nuggets to all of that. And I don't think it's just in the Black and Brown communities. I think it's
Yeah, that's
everywhere.
true.
It's like all over the place. There are just those I think that thrive in the structure, and I could tell you and I are just alike because I love everything you're saying with processes,
Yeah,
structure, right? So you can have some sanity at the end of the day. It's kind of like
right.
sometimes I remember like when you're younger, especially like when you first start going to school, like when you're at home, there's certain things your parents ask you to do, and you may
Hmm.
do it, you may not. You get away with it for a little bit. But when you
Hmm.
start to congregate around other people, like when you get to kindergarten or preschool, and it's like, okay, it's time for a potty break, and we all go at the same time, and we all have to get in a single file line and don't talk so you don't interrupt the other classes. And,
Hmm.
everybody goes to the restroom. Well, back then we used to drink from the water fountain. I don't think they do
Right,
that
that is
now.
true.
Then you go back to class. All those germs. Oh my God. So now you go back to class, but the teachers had to put that in place because if you can just
Yeah.
imagine them
Yeah.
all going out, it's like,
You have to. And we
no.
have the passion for the business, but we need the passion for the structure, the
Yes,
passion for the strategies. And people, you want your organization to be set up to move without you, right?
true,
You need a
true.
break. So you
Yes,
need to set it up to have a moment without you.
yes, I totally agree. So I love that. I love that. I never thought about it from that aspect. Now I'm like, hmm, what could I be doing differently for that? And it's
Mhm.
hard because sometimes in order for someone to do that, you have to have that next person in place that wants to do that, that has a desire
Yes.
to do that. And
Yes.
I think sometimes
That is true.
you have to pull it out of
You
people,
gotta
right? They
let
don't,
go. And
yeah,
you gotta let go.
yes.
You
Y'all
do.
can
And
have
the
it.
wonderful part of leading is that you have to be able to manage your responsibilities
Hmm.
while teaching someone else,
Yeah,
giving yourself grace and definitely giving them grace. So you
yeah.
guys have to be able to come up together, right? So you
Hmm.
guys are both at a
Yeah,
place where they can do something without you. They can respond to crisis without you in a way that is acceptable to you, right?
yeah.
And it's, I'm reminded of the scripture that says, how will they learn unless you teach them, right?
Right.
How will they know unless you teach them?
This is the
We have
way.
to
Yeah.
teach. We have to teach our leaders because it's easy. This I always say this, and I hope no one get offended. It's easy to open a business. It's easy to start open an LLC. You got your a little bit of money. You go on a state website. Now you're a business owner. You get, some people think business cards make them business owners. So now you have cards, you have a legal entity, may have an EIN. So now,
Email.
right, you got a Gmail, and now you're an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to become a business owner, but it's completely different from being a leader in your business. It's from
Hmm.
taking your business to be a living organization, right? Something that can be a legacy, not just for you, but for all the other people that is going to receive from what you are building,
Hmm.
right? And we need to build more organizations that our children can make a decision upon whether they want to lead those or not.
Right, right. Love
And
it.
that is what we're missing, right? That helps our wealth gap, right? We need to build
Hmm.
organizations where our kids, maybe they don't want to, but we need to give them an option. Right now, we're
Right.
not giving them options. We're giving them only options to be employed for the rest of their life in something that
And
their family don't own.
and I think it's interesting that you bring that up, and I don't want to take us on a tangent because I could talk about this
Oh,
all
me too, as you can
day.
see.
What I'm about to say, though, I
We're
could
gonna
talk
have to
about
get some
this
coffee. We have to get some coffee.
all day. What I'm about to say, because you're right. I was brought up to go to school, get a good job. Oh, go to school, get good grades, get a good job. And I was like, I did all that. And then somewhere along my 10-year career path before we started the
Ooh,
company,
10 years.
I was like, this ain't it. This somebody lied to me. I don't know. But this cannot be it. And now we
Yeah.
are seeing the generation that's come after my husband and I definitely, they're like, that we definitely not doing
Forget that.
this.
Right. They're like, what? You want me to spend 20 years in one place?
So we
Forget it.
definitely
That I
not
don't
doing
own
it.
it? Forget it.
So yeah, it's interesting dynamics of what's going on in our world right now and the
Yes.
change that's literally happening. Like it's like everything I was taught in school, you might as well just rip it up and throw it out. It's like we've had to
I
totally
can't
start
think of
over.
anything really relevant. I love what you mentioned. You were taught, most of us were taught in my area to just graduate high school. Like graduate high school, you're either gonna just get a job after that, or you're gonna go to the military.
Mm,
We were not even really pushed college wise. It was just like graduating high school when I was growing up in the community I grew up in was the epitome of everything. It's like me having my doctorate
Yeah.
degree. Just you just made it to
Right.
graduate high school, whether that was a formal graduation or a GED. Like that was
Right.
the epitome of success when I
Yeah.
was growing up. I didn't get nurtured into college because no one around me went to college. I'm my first family member in my family who went to college.
Mm.
So no one was there to nurture me on, making sure I do good on my SATs. And in school, we were just all struggling to just graduate for the
Yeah.
most part, and more so me because I was a teen mom. I had my first daughter at 13. So it was
Oh,
all
wow.
about just if I could just make it to graduate. If I can graduate high
Yeah.
school, I have beat all the odds, right? If me and my daughter could walk across this, at graduation, we beat all the odds. That was the epitome of success.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, and then I end up, going into nursing, and then I was like, it has to be more, just like, you mentioned, right? It
Yes.
has to be more. And once I became a legal adult, I started wondering, what is this college thing? Like, what is this? Can I even do it? You know, can I, with my baby, can I go to school? Can I finish college? Would I finish on time?
Yes, you
I went to
can.
college, but I didn't finish on time. It just took me a little longer,
Mm-hmm.
but
That's
I
okay.
finished. As you can see, I'm still there. I'm still there, and my kids are in college, so all of us we're still there. But with my daughters now, they value education because that was something that I held on to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
education took me out of poverty, so that's what I held on to. So that's what I taught them, and teaching them to build legacy for themselves. I said, okay, you can get a career, but you need to own something in this life,
True.
right?
True.
Whether that's a
Yes.
piece of an organization, it ain't gotta be 100%, or a piece of something. You need to own something in this life. So it's all about
Yeah.
leading people to build a legacy
Right.
for
Right.
themselves.
Love it. Love it. So, in your industry, right, leadership coaching, everybody is out here claiming
Yes.
that they are
Don't you
a
start me on this.
coach.
Don't you start me on this tangent, Joseph.
We'll keep it
Everybody
short.
out here
One
want to be a
minute.
life coach. Yeah, don't you do it.
1 minute on this topic. But
Don't you do it.
how
I'll
have
try
you
not to upset your
seen
viewers. But
we'll keep it short. How have you seen the industry shift? Because there's definitely been a shift in the
oh my
information
gosh.
age, with information being readily accessible on the internet. There's a lot of people out here claiming they could do XYZ and they don't have the receipts or the experience to warrant that. So go, 60 seconds.
Oh my goodness. So my one daughter is graduating next month with her master's degree in mental health counseling. And I was talking to her about this very thing. You got everybody in their grandma want to be a life coach. Everybody in their grandma helping people with their mindset and all this other stuff, but they have no credentials, right? And I would say, people need to go to people that got credentials. They've done clinicals, they have
Yeah.
expertise. So in the realm of any type of coaching, lifestyle, leadership programs, and so forth, you want someone who, one, has the educated, the formal background and the informal background. You need to check for two things: formal background
Mm-hmm.
and informal background. I have experience. I own percentages of different businesses. I have my own business. I have the formal education background. I'm finishing my doctorate in strategic business leadership. So I ask everybody to just vet their people, right?
Right.
Vet who's leading them, see what they have led, what is lasting, and again, formal and informal experiences, education, background.
Mm. Bars. It's just I don't know. It's been disheartening to hear people talk about these dynamics of getting sucked in by someone, which I'm like, okay, they're a great salesperson, but let's use it the right way.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
let's not be
wonderful
out here
salespeople. Their
scamming
marketing
people.
strategies are awesome.
Let's not be out here scamming people, but let's use it for the right reasons. So,
Yes, that's what I say. Check.
yeah,
You want an informal and a formal experience. To me, that's just my belief. Like I'm a educator. I've been educated. So I want someone who has been educated and who have used that. And
Mm-hmm.
I can see that they have used it. And I see that they're still using that. They used to use it 20 years ago. I want to say they're using it in 2023 because
Correct. Correct.
2023 has its own set of things going on. And I want to see that whoever is leading me have used these strategies in 2023.
Right, right. So, how have you rewired or changed your mindset or on how you approach things in your business now? Right. We're coming out, I guess, a year now after COVID.
Mm.
Who knows when it really ended or not? And things are just totally different. So, how has your mindset shifted, and what have you done to make changes in your business?
I would say that COVID should have been a lesson for most. And if we did not learn anything, that's a sad day. From if we didn't
Right.
learn anything from COVID, that's a sad day. So I would say that it really confirmed some things that I already knew. And what it confirmed to me that really set me on a path to push to educate people, to
Yeah.
lead them out of where they are, to educate them on business, organizations, for profit and nonprofit, um, career options, is because that COVID taught us that no career is safe. Like nothing is safe. Our
Mhm.
401ks, our savings, not safe. Our careers that we thought we would never get fired from this job, they would never lay us off, not safe. Um, our everything we relied on in these systems of this world, it proved to be
Mhm.
shaky, right? So it taught us that we cannot, and that's why I say I teach my daughters this too. I don't. They're in careers. They're doing pharmacy. They're therapists, whatever. But you never, ever, ever rely on one income.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Do not ever do that. And that is something COVID should have taught us.
Right,
You have to
right.
have several systems going in your life, because in business you have these seasons of highs and lows, and you have to, even in your career, so you have to be able to maintain in these avenues of highs and lows. So you
Mhm.
need to set things up that can work for you when you need them, and never allow yourself to be the subject of someone else's decision to be dismissed,
Mhm.
someone's decision to
Mhm.
lay you off. Never allow yourself to be able to, that you can be uprooted. Like everything you work for can be uprooted because someone made a bad financial decision. Now they need to lay you off. So
Mhm.
never ever place yourself in that position. That's what I teach my kids, and they better listen. So, but
Well, you can replay this episode for them and have them listen
they
to it in
gotta
their sleep.
listen. And I tell leaders too, you have to have different programs in your organization. So when that
Mm.
one program may be on a low tide, they may not be doing good in that particular season, you have other programs that can
Right.
sustain you. And they all work together and they flow together. They go up and they go down, but you have different avenues in your organization that can move,
Right.
so
And
that when something go down, something else has risen. So you have to have these
yeah,
things in place. Some people have organizations where they do one thing. They may do it great, but you may need to have different resources coming from that one thing. So that's another
right.
thing I teach them.
Bars, bars, bars. And you are so right. I went to school for engineering and my husband did too. That's how we met. And so for us,
Wow.
we were always taught about widget making. Like you got to learn how to make different widgets. You can't just make the same widget and turn it the same way with the same
Same way.
wrench. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna have to use that. Right.
so how can you make different widgets, different
Yeah.
color widgets, different size widgets?
Yes.
I think that's what people have to learn. It's okay, and everything we do in our business is around transformation and
Mhm.
changing. And it's hard a lot of times. We work with organizations, whether we're helping them implement new technology,
Mm.
moving from a legacy system to a new system, creating
Mhm.
processes when they don't exist, migrating into a brand new role, and you're trying to navigate, okay, what do I do in this role? Because it's totally different from what I did
Yes.
yesterday. It's all changed. There's a ending point and a beginning point, and that change over time is what people don't like. We like to just
Yes.
go to let me just get there. Let
Yes.
me get to Bowser and solve all these puzzles in Mario, and I go save Princess Peach. We
Right.
can't just do that. You have to go through the tunnels, go through the flower pots, jump over here, do all of that. And that is what life is about. And
That is
somewhere
it.
along the way, I think people forgot that. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know
Yes.
what happened, but somewhere
The
I
the
got burned
the
early in,
process is,
yeah,
they want to neglect the process, but
that's it.
we
That's
have
it.
to we have to have it, and we have to have someone help us through it. There are going to be things that come up that we do know how to do and that we don't know how to do, and I would never claim to know everything, because again,
Yep.
I'm still in school, so I'm still a learner. But I had one person approach me and they wanted me to take them to be just like Expedia in 1 month. I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't think they started right where they are right now.
It's interesting because we seem to forget that we went to grade school for what, 12 or 13 years, if you count
Yes.
kindergarten. Then I went to college. My behind went to another 5 years to get an
Mm-hmm.
engineering degree. Guess what? I went back 2 years after that to get an MBA. And then
Yeah.
I'm out here in these streets, in this marketplace, and I come to somebody else for help. Can you
Mm-hmm.
teach me in 4 weeks?
Right.
It
That
doesn't make any
is
sense.
so true. I was like, I don't think Expedia started out right where they are right now. I'm sure it took them a little while to get there.
Yes, and that's what you're talking about, the ebbs and the flow, and that's what
Yeah.
businesses do. Look at all the
Mhm.
great businesses that have been around for years. The reason they've been
Yes,
around for years is they're able to adapt and change with these
that's
ebbs and
true.
flows. Look what's happening
That's
with the
true.
automotive industry right now. Who would have
Mm.
ever thought that is probably in the next 20 years or
Now
so, we won't be
now
going
it's a
to
scary.
gas
Yeah.
stations and pumping gas. It's coming.
Right. Just think they're designing cars that looks like roller coasters that make you think you can change the scenery to be in a
That's scary,
rainforest.
but I
So
mean,
that is some wild stuff. And I think about it, like my favorite store is Kohl's. So with Kohl's, I just knew about Kohl's. I
that's
was
funny. I
saying,
got a gift card.
baby, I think I found out I got turned on to Kohl's. They came in my local area maybe 2012, 2013. I've
Okay.
been hooked ever since. And I thought it was a new store. I was like, oh, this is a nice new store.
No, just new in your area.
Yes. And then I looked up the history and how they started. I was like, oh, I fell in love with them even more because they've been around way 30 plus years before they got to my area. And I was like, wow. So in that time span, they were putting Kohl's up everywhere. In the
Mm,
2000s, Kohl's was popping up everywhere. And I was like, wow, this one organization, almost 40 years in the making, just did a massive expansion. And I was like, wow, all the things that one store went through
yeah.
before they decided to expand in almost everywhere in the 2000s.
Right.
I,
Right.
I'm always fascinated about the processes that
Yes.
organizations take. So
Correct.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it as well. Well, Shakita, thank you so much for being with us today as we wrap
Appreciate you
up.
guys.
Yeah, as we wrap up here today, is there anything you wanted to leave with the audience? I didn't know, maybe if you had um a strategy session or a discovery
Yes,
call or something you
yes,
want to
yes, yes.
offer
So
to the audience.
absolutely. So anyone, I will offer a one time a free strategy or leadership session that will actually we'll go through my leadership toolkit process that will allow us to look at where you are and where you're going. And this is for everyone who leads an organization. You're the owner, you're the founder, you're the executive in that organization, you're in
In
a
charge now.
supervisory position, right? A manager
Okay.
position in the organization. And as you may not be the owner, but you need to learn how to lead effectively and learn how to manage the people that's under you. So I would do that. You can just reach out. I can shoot my email address. It'll at info@sjglobal.me. Again, info@sjglobal.me. You can shoot me an email and we can get you set up for that session to just get a plan as to where you want to be.
All right. Well, thank you for
I appreciate you guys.
providing that for the audience. And where can everyone find you, Shekita?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at sjglobal.me. I am on LinkedIn also at Shekita Jackson on LinkedIn.
All right. Well, thank you again for being a guest on the Analytical Rewired. Everyone, please like, share, and subscribe to our
Yes, yes,
YouTube
yes, yes,
channel.
yes.
And we'll catch you on the next episode.
I
Bye.
appreciate you guys.